Texas. 850 miles from Orange to El Paso. 900 miles from Brownsville to Texline. And thousands upon thousands of highways and dirt roads in the middle. Exploring Texas ain't no small vacation, friend. It's a lifetime endeavor. But what if you don't have years, but just one single day? Well, that's where we come in. From the well-known landmarks to the completely obscure dives and hideaways, and all within a day's reach. So let's hit the road. I'm Chet Garner, and this is the Daytripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Well, today we are headed once again to the Texas Hill Country, to a little town that just wants to rock. It's a town built on the rocks, rock, where you can see rocks, rock, and even collect rocks, rock, rock. So let's rock and roll all the way to Llano. Llano! Llano is settled in the Texas Hill Country. It's about an hour and a half northwest of Austin and 2 hours north of San Antonio. Llano has a population of around 3,000 people and has been dubbed the deer capital of Texas. It's the county seat of Llano County, sits on the Llano River, and atop the Llano Uplift. Seems folks around here really like the name Llano. Let's kick things off with some of Llano's landmarks, starting with Llano's historic rail yard district, now housing the Visitor Center. Hop across Roy Inks Bridge stretching over the Llano River, and that puts me downtown at Llano's historic courthouse. Across the street is the Lantex Theater, a classic theater still showing current movies. And then there's Old Red Top, Llano's historic jail. We requested a tour, and who should we get but Llano's mayor, Mike Rieger.
I just want to show you the jail here. We have an old jailhouse built in 1895. This is how we get into the jail right here, and just come on in. You know, it doesn't cost anything to come, it just costs a little bit to get out.
So welcoming. The bottom floor housed the jailer and his family. Prisoners came downstairs, got their food, and then went right back up. The jailer's wife actually cooked all the meals.
Okay, Chet. Capacity of the jail in 1895 was about 24 people. The city had around between 7,000 and 8,000 people, so we had a lot of people that moved in here on us during the iron boom, and then after a while, everybody moved away. Only the good guys stayed. Of course, the people that made this jail were metal workers on the Mississippi River before the Civil War, so you have a lot of metal. This is an 1874 patent jail cell.
Wow.
So it's a lot of metal in the thing.
There's no way anybody's busting out this thing
you're not going to
easily.
get it down there. This is not a gun smoke jail.
Right.
One of the things that people don't realize is what the space requirements in 1895 were. We found this hammock, and there's a place for 4 of these hammocks in this small cell, so they would house 4 people.
This little cell, 4 people?
4 people. They had their own little heater. There's no air conditioning and no plumbing.
Well, this must be a modern convenience.
Yes, this is known as the throne room because it's where the first restroom was, and of course it's out in the middle. And they've built it up for the plumbing, and of course they vented it right to the outside here for the ventilation.
Oh, wow.
These are the drunk tanks. They just more or less threw them in there. When they got sober, they let them out. Now, not nearly as secure as those other cells because it doesn't take much to keep a drunk.
Right. That's true. That's just a little sheet. You may be able to file through that.
Yeah, you might be able to get it. When you get sober enough, we need to get rid of you anyway.
Yeah. Above the cell level are 2 flights of stairs leading to Red Top's gallows.
So we're going to go up here to the drop dead room.
The drop dead room. Mm-hmm. I'm afraid to ask.
All jails built in this era had their own execution chambers. And the mode of execution was hanging. And they hung there and dropped dead here.
Wow. So we're talking from this level here to this level. Do you know how many people made the short jump from this floor to this floor?
We can't find where anybody.
Oh, no, no, really? It's just here.
It was here in case we needed it.
In case we needed it. Maybe the corrections were so good that people shaped up, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Or your cousins are on trial and nobody wanted to execute them.
Oh, yeah.
13 steps, all gallows and guillotines.
All gallows and guillotines have 13 steps?
13 steps.
The top of Old Red Top offers a view of Llano's entire justice system, from trial in the courthouse to its end here at the gallows. Well, this is cool. Thanks for giving us the quick tour. That is just kind of creepy, but I enjoy it.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, good.
Thanks a lot. You know, for some reason, small town jails just make me hungry for barbecue. I'll blame that on Lockhart. Luckily, a barbecue craving is an easy fix in Llano, and barbecue junkies like myself definitely know about this place. Cooper's Old Time Pit Barbecue, home of the big chop and just about every other cut of meat God ever created. And on this day, the house was packed.
It's the ultimate.
The ultimate.
Where else can you come and eat off of a table? I mean, really, only in Texas.
Well, we were camping at Enchanted Rock, and we've been eating, or not eating, Boy Scout food for 2 days, and I knew this place was here, and we weren't going to come this far and not stop at Cooper's Barbecue. This is the place.
That's awesome. So better than Boy Scout food?
No doubt.
Yeah.
We love to ride motorcycles, and Cooper's one of the reasons we love to ride. Come see them.
So y'all find excuses sort of to make the trip pass by Cooper's?
Every chance we get.
Boy Scouts, motorcycle crews, private plane owners, and just regular old day trippers like us journey from far and wide to eat what many consider the best Q in Texas, whipped up day after day by hardworking folks and current owner Terry Wooten. You hear about this place all the time. It's like you can't come to Llano without stopping at Cooper's, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty famous place. It's a destination place for a lot of people.
Lots of people is an understatement. Cooper's lines are legendary, but the end has its rewards.
We cook barbecue the way the cowboys used to, on a bed of coals. We don't smoke our meat, we cook our meat with just like you're cooking a steak in the backyard.
Cooked, not smoked, is the Cooper's way. It's a grill, basically,
grill.
not a smoke pit.
Right. We don't like a real smoky product. That way you can eat it 6-7 days a week. We feel like it's the only way to cook barbecue. I'm not saying they're not right, but
Well, the method has its believers. Just a little warning. Unless you're a veteran at Cooper's, you will order more than you can eat. Restraining yourself at the open pit is almost impossible. Wow. So, walk me through this.
okay, we got pork ribs, sirloin, pork chop, and this is our specialty, the 2-inch pork chop.
That's a monster.
Yes, sir. Prime rib, sausage, chicken, and beef ribs.
Wow. Well, I've got to try the pork chop, so I'll have a pork
Okay.
chop.
You want sauce?
Yeah. Oh, and another Cooper's tradition. Baptism by sauce. Upon request, of course. Yeah, let me do a pork rib. Oh, I got a couple there. And remember what I said about ordering too much?
Yeah, you want sausage too, or?
Hey, you already picked it up, so sure. That looks good to me.
He'll take it right there.
That's for here?
All right.
What's he doing with my barbecue? He took it
Take
away.
it away.
This is cruel. No, really, is he chopping it up in a...
He'll get it
Okay.
chopped up and weighed, and we serve it to you on butcher paper.
Also, with the meat out of the way, your hands are free to pick up sides, beans, and cobbler. All that's left to do is eat. So there seems to be a theme amongst all the good barbecue places we go to. Paper plates. Literally paper plates. Let's see what Terry wrapped up in this special little present for me. Oh, wow, it smells so good. Have you ever in your life seen a pork chop this gigantic? Ever. Pork ribs, sausage, and the brisket. I'm ready to dine. This meal is complete. The brisket was so tender that it's sort of in pieces all over my tray. Yeah, it looks way different because it's cooked, it's not smoked. So you end up with something that's a little bit like roast. I mean, it sort of just falls apart. No smoke ring on this thing. But that doesn't mean it wasn't done right. Oh, that is delicious. If there were ever a brisket that should be called tender, this is the brisket. All right, I'm gonna do some damage to the big boy chop. Home of the big chop, baby. Look at this. I've never had a pork chop this thick. That's a one pork chop. Oh my goodness. It is delicious. The whole thing is moist, and the seasoning on the outside just flavors the whole thing. It's pretty obvious why people are willing to wait in a line that goes all the way down the block for this. That's good. But as good as it is, there's a lot of it. And try as I may, I can barely make a dent. I didn't use my tray as a plate. I'll use it as a white flag. I'm done. Wait, cobbler. Sorry, not done. Call it off. It's like a pecan pie that just melted inside of a styrofoam container. How does that phrase go? Oh yeah, stick a fork in me, 'cause well, you know how it goes. But better keep moving before this rockin' queue turns into a giant boulder in my stomach. Hey, speaking of rocks, remember when I said Llano rocked? Well, it does. Literally, because of its rocks. Llano is an international destination for rock hunters due to its peculiar placement on top of the Llano uplift, formed when rock that should be thousands of feet below the surface pushed its way up. Enchanted Rock in South Llano County is the uplift's most impressive work, but the best place to dig into Llano's rock culture is right on the square, Enchanted Rocks and Jewelry. The store has about every rock you might ever want to look at, and along with, well, jewelry, they've got t-shirts and other souvenirs. But its greatest resource is its owner, Frank Rao. Frank is sort of the expert in Llano about the whole rock culture here, right?
I hope so. That's the idea.
Well, tell me a little bit about it. Like, what makes Llano special? I mean, why Llano?
Llano is a granite uplift, which is different from the rest of Texas, which is mostly limestone. Rocks and minerals here are something that you can't find anywhere else in the state. There's tourmaline, silver, there's copper, lots of rare earth material, feldspars, and topaz.
Do you have gold?
Yes, there is gold found here in Llano. It does take a lot of effort. You've got to get out with a gold pan, and that's a good weekend's work.
So it does take some time. But if you want gold, Frank will rent you a pan and point you toward the river. Do you get to keep anything you find?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
There's no point in giving me any of it because you're not going to get enough to pay for the gold pan.
So it's sunk cost from the beginning.
It's a hobby. You're not going to come here and get rich, but you're going to come here and just have a fantastic time.
Yeah, that's
and
pretty
doing
neat.
something you can't do anywhere else.
That's cool. Speaking of something you can't do anywhere else, I've heard about Lanite, right?
Yes.
Tell me about
Yes.
that. That's something that you can't find anywhere but Llano
Only
County.
in
right?
Llano. It's a rhyolitic granite. One of the things that's most notable about it is the little blue crystals. As it weathers, the crystals become exposed. It's a beautiful stone when it's cut and polished. We have people that come from all over the world will come here specifically for Lanite.
We're gonna have to go on a hunt for Lanite ourselves. Is there a good place we can actually go see this stuff in the wild?
Yes, you can get out on Highway 16, 10 miles north of Llano, between the Babyhead Cemetery and the little roadside park.
What? Frank had me at Babyhead. So I said goodbye and hit the road up Highway 16.
We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road.
Okay, so according to local legend, Babyhead Cemetery gets its name from Babyhead Mountain, which gets its name from an incident that happened in the 1850s when a baby was killed by Indians on top of the mountain and its body was left behind. Now, it's a pretty creepy name, but I don't see anything necessarily creepy about this cemetery, at least not yet. So I'm gonna go check it out. Babyhead Cemetery. I don't see any baby heads. This isn't so scary. I'm not even scared of anything. Not even ghosts. Richie in a Sasquatch suit. I'm the Daytripper. I'm not scared of anything. It's just a little old cemetery. Freaked out for sure, but undeterred from my quest for Lanite, and we found it. Okay, so this is the outcropping that Frank pointed us to as the best place to see Lanite. This is it. See all the blue specks? This is only found here in Llano County, hence the name Lanite. We're seeing something that you can only find right here. And there's a bunch of little chips. May take a little souvenir. If you aren't up for an adventurous hunt, the largest polished chunk of Lanite sits inside of the Badoo House wine bar. So this is the Badoo House. named after the mineralogist Professor Badu, the guy who actually discovered Lanite. He used to live in this giant house, but nowadays it's this really great wine pub with an entire bar made out of Lanite. You got the blue flecks and everything in it. You can see it. It just polishes up so beautiful. Whether dodging traffic on the road or sipping wine, Lanite's a pretty easy find. How about a bigger challenge? With the proper gear, of course.
Let's go find some gold.
Frank also directed us to the end of Ash Street, with easy public access to the Llano River.
In my mineralogy estimations, all of these sandbars have already been swept. So to find the good stuff, we have to go directly into the water. It's cold.
But pain will be what separates me from the countless other rock hunters and gets me to the gold.
This is definitely a stone. A rock of some sort. Quite a find. I think I'll hang on to this one. Let's keep looking.
The Llano River is crystal clear, leaving rocks easily visible on the bottom, if I had any idea what I was looking for. But before long, I finally found one I recognized.
You know what this is? It's the perfect rock for skipping. Pretty awesome.
An hour or so of hardcore hunting, and I had formed my scientific conclusions.
There's rocks. They're everywhere. Look. I can't believe it. Oh my goodness. Look how many rocks I found. Oh, there's another one.
So my rock hunted yielded no fortune. Next time, I'm bringing Frank. Now to search for something not nearly as elusive these days in Llano.
Bald eagles.
Seriously, until I found out about this, I thought bald eagles were only in places like Alaska or Canada, but I was wrong, in a big as Texas kind of way. During the winter months every year, the bald eagles from up north come down to Texas to build nests and have babies. And this year the nest is literally like right off the highway. So you can actually come out and just check them out. There's a little baby in the nest right now. Based on what the photographers say, hasn't left the nest yet. He's just trying out his wings. But I think pretty soon here, he's gonna take off. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. Probably shouldn't yell at the wildlife preserve. Photographers line the highway, hoping to catch a shot of mom or dad bringing a fresh fish in from the Llano River, or waiting to see the youngster take its first flight. It's my first time to see a wild bald eagle, period, and it is impressive. You may notice that the babies don't have white heads. The signature white feathers are for mature bald eagles and don't develop until around year 5. It's pretty incredible to see the U.S. national symbol right here in Texas. Wow. You know, it doesn't get much more American than bald eagles. Here, Mary, hold my apple pie. I'm gonna go play baseball. Hit me, come on! Another place to spot eagles is nearby Lake Buchanan. That's right, I said Buchanan. You say Buchanan in these parts and you'll only embarrass yourself. I thought I'd check out the lake by hopping aboard a Vanishing Texas River Cruise. The cruise leaves from the east side of the lake, taking folks upstream to spots visible only by water. So, is Texas vanishing? Not on my watch. The cruise gets its name because it takes folks past the natural and wild side of Texas, a part which may be vanishing if we don't protect it. You know, it's a shame most only think of lakes during the summer. During the winter months, lakes take on a whole different personality, which I've always loved, and the eagles that spend the winter here seem to agree. Most of the time on the cruise is spent on eagle watch, past fishermen and cliffs, but always on the lookout for eagles.
You see that?
Or other large birds, like this osprey. The guides do an excellent job explaining and helping spot those elusive bald birds. And with a watchful eye, we spot them. It's safe to say cameraman Nate now has a new appreciation for wildlife photographers. But whether you see eagles or not, everyone gets a chance to see the Fall Creek waterfalls, which are surrounded by private property, so the only way to see them is by boat. The river cruise takes visitors as close as they can, but you know me, I wanted to get closer. So I rented a kayak from Lake Buchanan Adventures, which is hands down the best way to get up close and personal with the falls and with the wildlife. In fact, as soon as we arrived, we spotted 5 bald eagles. Even our guide had never seen that many. These waterfalls are around 20 to 25 feet high, depending on the water level, and are spring-fed by Fall Creek. They are incredibly unique and just solidify what I already knew, that Texas is one of the most diverse places on Earth. While it is freezing cold out here, I just can't pass up the chance to ride through a Texas waterfall. After passing through the falls, I feel different. Like a changed man. I'm not sure, but it's kind of like I found my place. I've become one with nature, one with the eagles. Well, it's time for our final stop.
The Canyon of the Eagles!
Yep, the Eagles are so magical, they even get a canyon named after them. Canyon of the Eagles is an LCRA-managed nature park with hiking trails, beautiful vistas, and swimming, in the right months of course, along with a rustic resort overlooking the lake. It gets you right up close with nature.
He didn't care about me at all.
But as the day closes in, it's the restaurant that sounds best about now. The restaurant is fine dining, but without the attitude. So whether you're in formal attire or vacation attire, you'll fit in fine.
Wow, pretty nice restaurant. I like this view.
Yeah, a little different than our usual dives, but worth it. And one of the best things isn't on the menu, but outside.
Wow, I didn't want to miss this sunset, so I grabbed my wine and I came outside. This is Fall Creek Winery, which is literally right across the lake. I could swim there. And cheers. There she goes.
I'll definitely toast to that. Back inside, Chef Sean Hewitt keeps it interesting, with traditionals like chicken fried steak to more eclectic dishes like coconut curry shrimp. Ceviche nachos, anyone? When it comes to entree, I like deferring to the house, and they didn't steer me wrong. It's a beef satay skewer of marinated skirt steak, roasted vegetables on a bed of polenta.
Oh, it's delicious. It's like in a spicy marinade. It's incredibly flavorful. There's artichoke hearts. Absolutely delicious. And you know, this day has been pretty phenomenal too.
Yes, it has. We rocked some history, barbecue, eagles, and waterfalls. And while we didn't find any actual rocks to make us rich, this day has rocked nonetheless.
So I'll see all y'all out on the road. Vaya con Dios, amigos. There you go.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Well done today. Well done today. Top notch.
Llano!
Ow!
This seems to be a very exotic mineral. Seems to have a cheddar crust. There's no way I'm eating that.
Well, it has really huge talons.
Seems like it's just a name. I mean, I can't tell from anything that's creepy.
How do we get away with this stuff?
I'll take number 2 for the credits. It's so regal. It's a regal eagle. Here on my arm. Oh, little eagle friend, where have you come from? So noble. Bring me back to your nest. Let me feed on your fish and berries that you pick for me amongst the wild lilies that grow in the magical bowers. Stay still.
What are you talking about?
For more information on the places we visited or to plan your next day trip, visit us online at www.thedaytripper.com. Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Daytripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Daytripper.
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info.
Howdy y'all, Chet the Daytripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Daytripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Daytripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.